Hey guys, this is Tom.
Hello.
Cary, what's going on, Ski? You good?
Hey. Just,
Bro, the last time we talked, like really talked, it was Bernie's last stand. Remember that? So long ago?
Yeah. The heydays, the optimistic days when we thought we might get a president that we could feel excited about.
I feel the same way. Bro, so this is a long time coming because most of my Bernie bro friends and I, we kind of like fallen out on this issue. At least you and I have like still like a respectable talking like relationship. So that's good. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad because I think of you as a friend. So, there's some strong feelings I have, as you know, towards Joe Biden. So, yeah. I mean, if it was even if it was Pete Buttigieg, I don't think I'd be bashing the Democratic Party as much as I am. But if it's now there's Joe Biden, I mean, it's just like, wow. This is a slap. This is literally a slap in my face. I feel, anyway.
Well, so, I mean, I gotta be honest, I feel similar. Once Joe Biden, once it was clear he was going to be the nominee, I couldn't help but thinking, like, of all the nominees, the only one that I could imagine worse is Bloomberg. But aside from that...
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Wow, that would have been worse. Okay.
Yeah, but everyone else would have been better.
Yeah, it's like they always do this to Democrats. Like, not only do I have to go along with them, but I also have to hate the fuck out of their nominee too. Yeah. Like last time it was Hillary. It's like these guys just keep taking turns running. The horrible Democrats from the 90s. They just keep on taking turns. It's like a merry-go-round of horrible Democrats. Yeah.
They're so establishment, they're so entrenched in establishment that, those in power, they have, it's in their interest to promote those candidates.
I hate it. So, I guess now we're talking about, and, my whole, like I already put it out there, my whole insight between Trump and Biden is Trump's actually done the First Step Act. I mean, yes, did he loot the Treasury with Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi during the pandemic? Yes. Is he a good person? No. But did he fucking create a draconian crime bill that locked up half the country? No, he didn't either. So it's just like, now I'm just like, well, who is really worse? So maybe there's some other things because I have, experience with Joe Biden's crime bill. But maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm seeing things in like a whole like perspective way. So if you can explain to me how, in fact, Joe Biden is like how Biden versus Trump, do you think Biden's better? So, and you are not a shill or Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So I'm listening to you. And if you wanted to have that argument, let's have it.
Well, I don't necessarily think like, oh, Biden, what a great candidate. And I certainly don't think he's going to do anything that is all that good or necessary for our country. It's more, I hate to have to resort to this line of thinking, but it's sort of just the way our political systems are built. But, just Trump in my mind is just so much worse, And,
but why?
Well, I think a couple reasons. One, that he is a fascist, and, fascism operates in much the same way as a cult, it requires, unthinking, unfledging loyalty from its followers. It, if you even dare to falter even a little bit in your support for the fascist movement, you're immediately thrown under the bus. The great and comedic example of this is that rally, what was it, a week or two ago, where this governor is like talking and everyone's all like cheering and stuff, and then he's like, and then he thinks he's going to own the libs by making some comment about like, yeah, and if you have to wear a mask, at least make it a Trump mask. And so then But the second he says mask, the audience starts booing him. They won't even let him get out his points and, try and say that, we gotta wear the mask, but, at least we can make it at some point. They're about to, tear him off that stage just for even mentioning the word mask at a Trump rally.
That's a good example. But can you say that there's the same thing like that on both sides? To follow up with what you said, yes, Trump does attack people on Twitter sometimes. And you have his fucking people go after him. When Trump does that, I mean, that's fascist. I agree with you. But, can you agree that on both sides there's these dumbasses who don't even, listen to the rest of the fucking story before they're already fucking spitting out the word socialist? It's just...
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely...
We have the bandwagon mentality. It's the bandwagon mentality that's just destroying our country. I don't even know how to stop that. It's just, it's weird. That's weird. We can't even have a conversation with people because, they already hear something else before we even finish talking. It's weird. It's becoming worse.
I mean, you're right. I think the bandwagon mentality is problematic, and it's a result of a lot of things. We have very poor political education in our country. People leave high school barely knowing how the system works and how they can get involved. We learn that there's the 3 branches of government, but we don't really understand what that even really means. We don't know what that means practically. We know how there's separation of powers, but we don't fundamentally understand how that affects our everyday lives. And so people leave high school either not caring about politics at all and barely knowing that they exist, or if they do care, it has something to do with their environment. Maybe their parents really cared, or, they happen to get in with a group of friends that really care about politics or something. And so
this educational problem
part of it. I think it's part of it is because people never learn how to have a decent political conversation. And so they feel like the only way that they can contribute is just by blindly supporting the team that they favor. They're like, I don't understand what any of this stuff means. What does it mean, defund the police? What does it mean, foreign policy? What does it mean, America first? Phrases even mean. I don't know.
That defund the police, man, that was a good idea, but that slogan, it sounded like it came from Bloomberg. What the hell? That's why it makes me feel like there's an inside job on this. Democrats are weird. We couldn't come up with stop shooting black people, or give more money to education instead of police, stop the school, the pipeline prison system. We had to go with defund the police. Something that's naturally, but it's naturally negative. We're going negative on that. And, Bernie's whole thing was to, talk about the positive things. That's the thing about Joe Biden that scares me, is that he is a negative scumbag. And he is going to take the party that's already negative Nancy Pelosi, and he's going to go even more negative. He has that speech where it will give people light. He is the opposite of that speech. Everyone knows it, and he hides behind those little words to demonize the other side. On the other hand, he is a scumbag. So I'm literally scared, where this Democratic Party is heading to with Joe Biden at the helm, because that guy's pure scum. I really wish
both parties are. It kind of feels like both parties are imploding right now. And the Republican Party
explode, destroyed. Bye parties. Have a great night. They should both be destroyed.
Well, and that's why I keep talking to you about the ranked choice voting and stuff like that, or policy changes that maybe could, undermine the power of the two-party supremacy. Be great to just
ranked choice voting. Good, yes.
Yeah, because the way it is now, it is in the party's interest to make it a dichotomy, to make it as polarizing as possible, to make the other person a demon and make yourself great. And people love a struggle they can understand. They can understand they can understand a head-to-head match, like imagining like the title card for like a wrestling match or, a boxing match, and you see the two people like squaring off and making mean mugs at each other. But it's like, that may be good entertainment, but it's not good politics.
No, not good politics or policy.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah. And it leads to not only bad policy, but also just bad political culture, to where we can't even talk about politics without someone being like, you hate my fucking family.
Exactly. Therein lies the reason why Trump is president. I think he's the president we deserve. And I know, I feel like that's the reason. Well, I feel like every day, I feel more and more like we deserve President Trump. Because he is the ultimate branding WWF, Dave McMahon superstar, who's just like, this is good. In fact, how he picked the Supreme Court justice, I'm pretty sure he got a list from his donors of who they want, right? And he was like, oh, she's good. Amy, she's got a strong name. I like a lot of Amy's. They're very high energy. Does he know what she looks like? No. Does he give a shit? No. She's got a strong name, lesser ratings, very good. That's how he works, and that's how our country works. So pretty much, like he has, he's got some ugly stuff. You're right about the fascist side where he's attacking people on Twitter, and he won't shut the fuck up. But
not just
every day, it's like we deserve him more with what we're doing.
Well, not just attacking on Twitter, but just like there's a lot involved. Since day one of him, like, campaigning, he starts whipping out this phrase, fake news. And, trying to show...
They are, though.
I mean, all news is fake news?
No, well, CNN's fake news. CNN's not only fake news, but they literally caused massive... Like, think about what happened during the pandemic, Cary. They caused massive, like, fucking horror to people. People were out inside the grocery store. Mama, I can't find my mama. Kids were crying on the street. Oh God, what are we gonna do? And then the death toll was going up like a motherfucking like a New Year's Eve balloon. It was just so dramatic. Okay, come on.
But what does it have to do with CNN?
That was CNN. That was the whole thing. They had their little death toll clock. And then talking about how, we don't know what to do. This president has made apocalypse happen. We're done. He hasn't done anything. He's been denying it all. I mean, yeah, of course he said we're just gonna disappear by Easter because he's a vacuum salesman. But on the other hand, did you have to pull out the death clock and get everybody scared out of their minds? No. That's dramatic.
It is dramatic, but it is hard to know what to do in the face of a national leader saying, don't worry about it at all. I don't know what we needed to do because, even to this day, I mean, after all the deaths, after everything that's happened, there's people who have not put on a mask or quarantined basically since this began. They still don't care. And, Trump is directly responsible for that. He comes out every chance he gets to downplay the pandemic and make it seem like it's not a big deal and that we should all just...
with the Ginsburg funeral. Did you see that? He was like... they said vote him out. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, they started screaming.
Vote him out. He was a big ass mask and shit. Hiding behind a pillar at the Capitol.
I mean, I don't feel bad for him because, like, he really does represent everything that Ginsburg fought against. It's like, it's a bad play for him to show up at her funeral. Like, he doesn't belong there. He doesn't deserve to be there. I don't know how he expected any other reaction to going there.
That's true. The bubble, probably. I mean, he's always at Fox News and stuff. That's why. So that they get him the false sense of security.
It might even be calculated. He may have intentionally gone to get shouted at, so he could be like, "See, the Dems, they're so like, this trying to tear this country apart. Like here I am trying to pay my respects, and they're like, so focused on their partisanship that they're screaming at me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can't wait till this fucking thing's over. But, okay, so this is my last question, okay? So, say Joe Biden becomes president, okay? Then what do we as Bernie bros do? What are we supposed to do? Because this guy is he's gonna do some stuff. It's not gonna be good for us. So how do we fight him? How do we fight Joe Biden? If after that?
Well,
because after that, Trevor Noah and Viacom and all the mainstream media, Jim Acosta, they're gonna be kissing his ass. Okay, so you're not gonna hear about the kissing cages anymore. You're not gonna hear about any of this shit. It's all gonna be kept under lock and key. You're not gonna hear about any of it. And that's what Trump means about fake news. Yeah, all this stuff's happening, but isn't it funny how they all mention it when he's president, even though that Joe Biden and Barack Obama built the cages. See, none of this shit you're going to hear anymore. So they're going to be against you if you want to fight Joe Biden. So how do we fight Joe Biden?
Well, I mean, like your point is valid. The system's going to be against us in terms of that. It's just the same things that we have to do now is try to organize from the bottom, try and make local change happen first and push it up, like Black Lives Matter does already, regardless of who the president is, they try and grow awareness and push for policy and we got to do that. But, I know it's harder to do without, our ideal choice in the White House, but, I still remember in the 2016 election cycle, the first time I even knew about Bernie Sanders, that he even existed, I was like, oh, here, this guy's a candidate. Let me watch his little video here. And it was a speech that he gave. And, I liked some of the things I was hearing, but the first thing that he said that really hooked me and made me think oh, definitely this guy has my attention, was he said so plainly that, this is not just about me. Even if I get elected, that is not enough in order to get the change that we need. I can be at the head, kind of guiding and trying to get things done, but it will require grassroots efforts from everyone. We need political action. We need people to be involved in order for things to get done, regardless if I'm the president or not, and that made a lot of sense to me. And it made me think wow, this guy actually is being frank about how the system works. And, so yeah, I mean, maybe we're not going to get Bernie, which is the ideal, at least for me, but, whether we get Biden or if Trump wins again, the fight remains the same. We just have to keep trying to fight local, fight grassroots, and push up.
Talking about the necessity with pride about cutting Social Security, cutting Medicare, cutting veterans programs.
No.
You never said that.
No.
When I argued if we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in the government.
Look, here's the deal.
You're an honest guy. Why don't you just tell the truth here? We all make mistakes.
I am telling the truth.
And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time.
Joe, let me repeat it again. I want you just to be straight with the American people. I am saying that you have been on the floor of the Senate time and time again talking about the need to cut Social Security, Medicare, and veterans programs. Is that true or is that
no,
not
it's
true?
not true.
That is not true?
That is not true.
I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing.
And that's why I know you're busy with school, but you should come on the show a lot more often, Cary. Because you got some good ideas. Combination politics. That's what I'm talking about. A coalition.
Yeah.
So, Bernie, he's old, and I think this was his last hurrah. But we have to our generation. Because if we don't step up, it's going to be our fault. We're going to be looking like the boomers, and then whoever generation, whatever, going to be like, these guys fucked up. They were too lazy to change anything. And they'll be right. Okay, so if we don't do something...
Yeah, they will be right. Our kids are going to be, like, crossing their arms, looking at us, and like, what the fuck were you doing when Trump was president?
Exactly. We better fucking step up. Otherwise, we're going to look like the boomers when we get off my lawn. So, anyway, I'll let you have a good rest of the weekend, man. And I'll talk to you later. Stay strong, all right?
All right, you too. We'll talk more soon.
All right, bye.
Hey guys, this is Tommy, Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?